What's the difference between technical and fundamental analysis for traders? So technical analysis is based purely on the price action. It doesn't matter what company it is, really. It matters based on the price action. So if there are any highs or lows that are made, if there is a trend, that is based on technical analysis. It doesn't matter if I'm looking at Pepsi or Visa or Amazon or Tesla or whatever company, it doesn't matter. The price action, which is literally the price and how it moves, is what determines technical analysis. So right now I'm looking at ES, which is just the S&P 500 futures. And I'm going to note here the all-time high in 2022. So this was the all-time high that was made in 2022. And you can see price came down. And then now that price came down, I have a level of resistance or a high that I can use as either a target or a level, just a key level. Now, as price comes back into this, you can see that there's a consolidation. That means that price didn't come right through. I don't want to get into specifically what consolidation is, but you can see that there was some level of buying and selling that did not result in very clean price action. Now, going off of the 2025 highs, you can see that price started to flush down, and there was a catalyst here that did cause the flush. But it doesn't actually matter when you're looking at technical analysis. What you know is that right here is my 2022 high, and I'm expecting this to now act as a level of support because we're above it. So you can see that price comes down, and using your technical analysis, you'd be looking to say, I want to start to be a buyer down here, expecting price to bounce off of that. Now, that is purely based on the all-time highs that were made in 2022. And you can see price came down and then ended up bouncing off this area. It's never going to be perfect to the cent, by the way. It's always an area or a zone. So the way that I would like to think about it is this is an area or a zone here. It's depending on the time frame you're looking at, it can be bigger or small. The zone can be bigger or smaller, but it is never going to be perfect to the cent or to the dollar. I just want to highlight that. Now for fundamental analysis, let's look at NVIDIA quickly. Why did NVIDIA go parabolic? Because of their earnings. Not because the chart setup was great, but because of their earnings, because of the adoption and the demand for their product, the demand for their chips. AI obviously is here and it looks like it's not going away, which is why the company went from an average of probably a $15 or $20 stock to now being a $130 stock. That's obviously a massive return, but this is based on fundamentals. This is based on their earnings. This is based on even if we just look here, this is based on, so that you can see their earnings, which is their profit. This is their revenue. They're beating in these cases. You can see over here again, beating their earnings by 18%, beating their estimated revenue by 10%. These are insane, insane numbers to be beating the estimates by. And that's where the price will move from. That's going to be one of the catalysts to move the price. Now, based on that, some people will say, well, I think that maybe NVIDIA is overpriced now because their revenue says that XYZ, and I think it's overpriced. And that's how you can use fundamental analysis to have a short bias. The opposite is true. If you say, I think that the demand and the growth for AI is going to be a lot more than people think, I think that NVIDIA is cheaper based on what the projected demand is, I'm going to buy looking for a move higher. And there are a bunch of tools that will help you kind of visualize this. So even if we go quickly to Yahoo Finance, which I'll pull up right here, you can see some of the information. So this is their financials. You can see, if we go to a summary quickly, you're going to see that there is some information down here, analyst recommendations. So let's look at this quickly. This is, where is it? So analyst recommendations, just very quickly right over here, you can see strong buy, hold, underperform, and sell. So clearly, just at a quick glance, it seems like the analyst recommendations are either a buy or a hold, not really to sell, but they're using fundamental analysis to determine that. So the TLDR, the recap, is that Technical analysis is based on price and price movements. It doesn't matter the stock that you're looking at. It doesn't matter if it's gold or oil or Nike or Apple. You're going based off of trends, recent highs and lows, indicators like the SMA, like the RSI, like Bollinger Bands, whatever else. That is technical analysis. And then the fundamental analysis is based on the actual company's performance, the sector that it's in, and the actual projected growth of that company or the performance of the actual financials of that company. So in terms of actually applying the technical analysis, you can use edgeful.com to tell you how often different things actually set up. So for example, I'm going to go to the initial balance breakout report, and then you're going to see here, if I go back to ES quickly, and I go to a 15-minute chart, what you're going to see is, right over here is a pretty good example. This is technical analysis. The initial balance is the high and the low of the first hour of the session. So the New York session starts at 9:30, so that's from 9:30 to 10:30, and this report will tell you that 72% of the time, price only breaks to one side of this initial balance. So the moment that price breaks out, there's your bias for the day, because you do not want to expect this to happen. So tools like edgeful.com are going to help you trade on technical analysis. This is all objective data. There are no opinions in here, and this is how you can really start to actually trade using real raw data. If you have any questions on Edgeful, you can always reach out to our support right over here. Anything report related. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.